everyone, Emily here, and today I have for you a book haul. So I keep saying I need to slow down my spending. That didn't really happen this month. To be fair, I did unhaul a bunch of books at Half Price Books. I unhauled my complete Outlander series. I did not have her most recent book that came out last year, but I had all the other books in either paperback or hardback. And the reason why I unhauled it, I know that's an unpopular opinion for some people. I got through Fiery Cross, and I did read Fiery Cross. I read halfway through Fiery Cross, and then I DNF'd it, soft DNF'd it for a time. And about a year later, I was like, I should read it. So I had to go back and reread the beginning and read it. Then I got to the sixth book, and I started it. I read about 100, maybe 200 pages, and I stopped reading it and never picked it up again. And I just kept looking at the books and like, I should read them. And I had started rereading actually from book one, and the plan was that I was going to read. Uh, excuse me, I need to readjust there for a minute. Sorry. I was planning on rereading the whole series before book 9 came out, and then reading book 9. And I stopped after book 2. And I realized, like, I don't like Claire anymore. She's kind of annoying. Um, and I also just didn't like the fact that pretty much everyone in the book gets raped. Like, if you're a main character, you're going to get raped in Outlander. Sorry, that's a spoiler there, but you also need that trigger warning. And I had a major problem with that. Like, if her intent was to show that life back then was hard, you don't need to show that with rape. If your intent was to show that, man, these people are really evil, you don't need to show that with rape. Like, everybody can't be a raper or a rapist. Like, it just, and why does everyone have to be raped? Like, it just got frustrating, and I was just like, there, I just, it became a chore to read the books, rather than I'm enjoying these books. So that's why I passed on them. I also got rid of A Song of Ice and Fire. Again, I know I'm going to have people coming at me for that. I really enjoyed the books, so I had mass market paperbacks of books 1 through 4, and then I have book 5 on my Kindle app. I read books 1 through 3 right around the time when the first season of the TV series came out. So 2010, 2011, 2012, one of those years. Um, Somewhere around in there is when I picked up books 1 through 4. Really enjoyed them. Read books 1 through 3. Really enjoyed it. And then stopped reading, kept meaning to read book 4, and then I found like a reading plan online that had, because book 4 and 5 deal with the same timeline but just different parts of Westeros. So I found online there a reading plan where, like, you read a few chapters in book 4, then you read a few chapters in book 5, and you go back and forth between the two books, so that way you could read the events as they unfold chronologically. And so I kept meaning to do that, but those books have just kind of sat on my shelf year after year after year. And finally I said, this is just collecting dust, and I don't think I'm ever to go back to these books. So I'm just going to get rid of them. And so I did. So between those two big honking trilogies, or two series, some other books, some DVDs and CDs, I had $35 to spend at Half Price Books. And I did. All of these books are parts of series that I am currently reading and or want to read, and already have some of the books in the series, and all these books, like, except for one, look completely brand new. So when I saw them at Half Price Books, I said, okay, sold. So the first book I grabbed was book 6 in Dune. So this is Chapter House Dune by Frank Herbert. I've already read books 1 through 3. I've enjoyed them. I know I want to read 4, 5, and 6. I already have book 4. I just now need to get book 5. And book looks brand new. I'm not looking at the back because spoilery reasons, but Frank Herbert is an author who's just super intelligent. I have decided that I'm probably gonna have to reread and go back and reread Dune again when the next part, the next Dune movie comes out, because there's just so much to his world, and there's so much more that I want to glean from Herbert's thoughts about colonialism and ecology and like spice. I kind of gather is like kind of like our commentary on oil production. So so yeah. So I know I'm gonna go back and reread it, but I want to finish 1 through 6 or 1 through 6 first. Then I also picked up A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan and oh glare, sorry there. This is the subtitle of this book is A Memoir of by Lady Trent. So this book is kind of like Jane Austen meets dragons. So Lady Trent is like this Victorian high society lady who studies dragons. So I've heard good things about this book from other people. Someone told me like I will love this book based on like some of the other things that I really enjoy reading. And I do have plans to read this month. So, and I know in my July TBR, I did show a book of this. It was from the library, but then when I saw this at Half Price Books and it looks brand new, I snagged it. Then I also snagged The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. I do have the fifth season. I need to read that. I kind of am planning to read that next month because I just need to start getting into this world because I want to read The City We Became. I know that the book 2 comes out later this year, but I don't want The City We Became to be my first N.K. Jemisin experience. I want fifth season to be my first N.K. Jemisin experience. So it's time for me to read Broken Earth and that trilogy. Each book in that trilogy won the Hugo Award, so I'm super excited to read it. Then I also got Skin Game by Jim Butcher. So look at how it's like brand new. So Skin Game by Jim Butcher. This is another Harry Dresden File book, our Justin File book, and I'm currently working on book 5. It's slow working through because I read it like as I'm trying to fall asleep. So, but I've been enjoying my time with Harry Dresden. So, and then I got A Gathering of Shadows by V. Schwab, and this is book 2 in the Darker Shades of Magic trilogy. I have book 1. I need to read it, and then I'll read this. I'm not telling you what this book is about because I'm trying to not look at the back of the book. No spoilers. And then the stuff that I got at the library, I spent a total of $8 getting books from the library. So the first of the books I'm going to show are books that my library has like a couple of carts out of books that are free for you to take. And so I took them because I was like, well, if I don't like them, it's just easy to get rid of them. So I got The Fall of Hyperion, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, Endymion. So this is book 2 and book 3 in the Hyperion trilogy. I haven't read Hyperion yet. I've been hearing really good things about it, so it's been on my radar to read. And then when I was talking to my brother this weekend, he said that he would like to read Hyperion. So I know that if these don't land for me, or I go, man, I don't think I'm going to just have time to read these, I'll just pass them along to him. But I got to show you this. I know that I'm going to have to use my readers when I read this book because the print is so stinking small. So, and then also for free, I grabbed The Farthest Shore by Ursula Le Guin. And this is book 3 in the Wizard of Earthsea trilogy. I still need to finish book 1, but just like, look at how cool that old school fantasy novel cover is. It's just so cool. And then I grabbed The Martian. By Andy Weir. I'm not going to say really too much of anything about this book. it's just been all over the place. I've yet to read it. And here's why I haven't read it. So a lot of times when a book is highly popular, I go into it with certain expectations, and then I end up not liking it. And so I've kind of been staying away from The Martian because I'm just like, I just don't know if I'm going to like it. So I don't want to read it because of that. But I decided, well, free's a good price. I will grab that, and I can sit on it and read it whenever I want, and then probably get rid of it. I have very low expectations for that book, not gonna lie. The next book I grabbed is actually a book that I checked out at the library, and that was All the Horses of Iceland by Sarah Tolmie. And this is a mythical telling of how the horses of Iceland got there and came to be. So and the back of it says, everyone knows of the horses of Iceland. And I was like, actually, no, I don't know anything about the horses of Iceland. So I'm curious to learn more about the horses of Iceland, and do a little bit of research online about them before reading this book. But it's a quick read. It's 100 pages. I figure maybe I'll read this really quickly and pick up another weapon in Questathon. So, and I've heard good things about this book too. So, and then I also picked up Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. And this was in my quest when I realized, like, you know what, I need to read more classics. Not that like I just need to sit and only read classics, but like slowly just starting adding them more into my reading diet, if you want to call it. Only because when I was an English major, and I feel like I should have read some more of these classics. I've only really read classics if they've been assigned for school, not gonna lie. Then two, I feel like literature is such a great reflection of culture and history and politics of that time period. So just to learn more about those time periods through literature, I enjoy. And I've heard really good things about this book, and just needed to diversify my reading. It's a really good edition. The Everyman Library puts out high quality hardbacks, so for $2 I grabbed it. Sorry, I have books on the floor here. Along the same vein with wanting to read more classics, I grabbed Villette by Charlotte Bronte. And this is like her last novel that she wrote. It's supposed to be the most autobiographical. And this is about a young Englishwoman, Lucy Snow. And she leaves her life in England where she was very unhappy. And she becomes a teacher in the capital of some fictional European country. And there she kind of is drawn to that school's headmaster and kind of falls in love with him. So I am curious to read this because, again, it's supposed to be the most autobiographical. And again, I grabbed it because it just looks brand new. And I need to read more classics. And then I also grabbed Song of Achilles. Now, I'm going to say something that's controversial and I'm going to say that I tried Circe by Madeline Miller a few years ago. I've read maybe 100 pages, maybe 150 pages. And I was just like, I'm not enjoying this, and so I DNF'd it. I know that's controversial. I wanted to like it. I had very high hopes for it, and I think I just went in with really high expectations. I've heard that this book lands better for some people, so I'm hoping that I am that person. If I'm not, I figured like $1, it's okay. But again, I have high hopes that I'll like this. Oh, there she goes. My stack of books went. Then I also grabbed The Glass Hotel by Emily St. John Mandel. I really enjoyed Station 11 by her. Just a funny odd note on this book. So it's a library book. It's a discarded book, and I got it for $2. It came out in 2020. And I think what happened, because this happened to me with Jade War. I picked up Jade War, like the paperback of it that looks brand new from the library, and it's a library book for $1. And so what happens is if people lose the book and then they pay for it at the library, and then later as they're cleaning their house or whatever, and they find it, they'll bring it to the library. Well, then the library has already taken out of their system, so they have to discard it and they put it in the used book sale. So that's how I got this. But this one, I'm going to just read just a couple of sentences. So this is set in the glittering intersection of two seemingly disparate events. A massive Ponzi scheme collapse and the mysterious disappearance of a woman from a ship at sea. And I like I said, I really enjoyed Station 11, so I'm hoping for another hit for me from Emily St. John Mandel. And then the next book that I got at the library book sale, I waffled back and forth on should I buy this, because I already have the paperback UK edition of this, but this was the hardback version for $2. I was like, do I really need it? And I was like, yes, I need it. No, I don't. And finally I said, just do it. It's $2. And I got Arcanum Unbounded by Brandon Sanderson. So now I can say I am collecting his editions. And then lastly, my book of the month picks. I grabbed The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. And I need to read City of Brass. I'm looking forward to reading City of Brass. But I grabbed this because I know I'm probably going to love it based on other people's reading tastes, and we have similar reading tastes, so I'll probably love it. Probably want to read book 2. And I didn't realize this was a book of the month book until I saw it on some like Facebook group that I'm part of, and I was like, wait, what? And it had been out of print or out of stock, and it came back in stock again. And so as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to grab it. And then my pick of the month book for this month is Upgrade by Blake Crouch. And I've not read anything by Blake Crouch, so he kind of reminds me, in just like the descriptions of the books, it kind of reminds me of Michael Crichton, and I really liked Michael Crichton, so I'm hoping he'll land well for me. So just a few tidbits from the dust jacket. It says that at first Logan Ramsey isn't sure if anything's different. He just feels a little sharper, better able to concentrate, better at multitasking, reading a bit faster, memorizing better, needing less sleep. But before long, he can't deny it. Something's happening to his brain, to his body. He's starting to see the world and those around him, even those he loves most, in whole new ways. So I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm looking forward to it being a lighter read in the midst of some pretty hefty reads that I've got going. So to have those, like, I call them palate cleansers, those are always important. So yeah, I'm hoping that this lands well for me. That is it. That is my book hauls. There should be a slowdown because I have a birthday coming up in September, and really right now what I'm trying to find now and target is get books in series that I've already started and know that I want to continue. So that would be my main focus is Realm of the Elderlings. I have to get the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. I need to finish that before the end of the year. Like, I just need to know what happens between them. So I've got Blood of Dragons on the table for this month, and then Fitz and the Fool, hopefully. But that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you've picked up recently, what you're working on reading, and have a good rest of your day.